roster. And I think that a lot of people are excited for this matchup because of, I think, a surprise in that Japan's participating here, that they're not playing for one of the medals. Japan beat Chinese Taipei in the Asia Cup earlier this calendar year, but in their rematch yesterday for a chance to reach the semifinal round, it was Chinese Taipei that really had no trouble handling Japan in straight sets. So for Japan, it was a disappointing day. Tears were shed, and they have been able to regroup, and they'll get out there today and see what they can make happen against Lithuania, who will be the home team. Japan will, and Lithuania will lead us off on this Saturday morning. It is a bright, beautiful, sunshiny day in Tepic. We expect the crowds to grow consistently throughout the day, though some folks are already here for this morning affair. Our officiating crew for this contest, featuring officials from around the world. At home plate, it's Francisco Rivera. At first base, Nakima Mesa. Enrique de Leon is at second. David Soto from Mexico is at third base. And Jose Amador. The important job at the table official, you don't see them in that little graphic, you don't see them on the field. But if you look on the right-hand side of your screen, just above the score bug, you'll see where the table officials sit. Their job is to input the action as it happens, so you're able to follow along live. They also confirm that the teams are batting in the correct order, that everything's being done on time. And yeah, they're a very important part of the crew, and we have to commend the job that our officials have done to this point in the tournament. They have been outstanding. And so we begin the fourth and final day of the second edition of the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. And we begin with not only a leadoff hit, but an error. Ball goes out of play. Took a hop off the sidewall and then bounced up over the fence. And a pretty ideal start for Lithuania. Get that runner on second base with nobody out. Looking to put the pressure on, get started early. One thing that's become extremely clear through the first 3 days of this tournament is that an early lead is extremely important. It allows you to play the game differently. And so everybody's striving for that fast start, that solid first inning. So far, Lithuania in position to score first. There's a tough play, though. That ball bounced short of the no-hit zone. That was Julius Ladavaricius. And a big missed opportunity. And now the task falls to Barbara Baitul. Baitul surveys the field, steps into it, hard hit, third base, sidearm toss across the diamond. Nice play right there. And despite the leadoff runner reaching second base, Lithuania unable to score. That was definitely a great recovery from the Japan team after the slow start. And now Japan putting their first ball in play on the third base side, and just like Lithuania's leadoff at bat, little trouble handling the first ball put in play. And so a leadoff base runner, though he is only at first base. The Japan fans have come out, as they always do, in good numbers. A right-hand ball put on the right side of the infield. And here's the moment for Japan to potentially break through and score first. Runners on the corners, just one away. We're talking about how it's offense against defense in a sense here. When you look at the standings and the statistics in terms of hits, Lithuania coming into this contest with 185 hits. That's third most in the tournament. Japan, meanwhile, with just 106 hits, which is the third fewest. I think that's a really telling statistic of how these teams have wound up in this game through very different paths. A bouncing ball and out at first base. And the second out has been recorded, but it comes with a price as Lithuania has allowed the first run as they've gotten the second out. And they get the third out in time. Close play, as it always is. And we're going to have more placement games. There's a total of 3 placement games in this day of action. Puerto Rico and Tunisia are going to get underway in just about 20 minutes time over on field 2 as the Lithuania half of the second begins with a ball hit in a place where Japan was able to make a play fairly easily. The rest of the placement round games, Turkey and Kenya, that'll take place here on field 1, and then Spain and France. Lithuania. They'll be hosting the European Baseball5 Championship in just about a month. It'll be the first week of November. The throw went awry, as you saw there, but the out call had been made on a foot violation on the batter. So Japan looking to build on their first set lead. They are up 1-0 as they come to bat in the bottom of the second. Nice pickup, strong throw on a hop, but not in time. And now a nice throw from first. The throw you saw wasn't handled, so Japan in business here. Runners on first and second. And a bunt play. Japan, like we said, third out of the 14 teams in hits. But they find a way to win. This is what we've been talking about all week. It is not a powerful offense. And a great race to second base. Safe the call at second, and Japan will score 2. That's how they do it. Good effort up the middle from Lithuania, but too much speed coming out of the batter's box. Now a hard throw to first, and this has not been a good start to the first set for a Lithuania team that has actually fared pretty well in many of their first sets. You saw that one bounce off the hands of the first baseman, Kira Baitul. There are different ways to get the ball across the diamond. Sometimes it's better to bounce the ball, and it makes it an easier pickup for the first baseman. This game is for 7th place. We're going to run you through what all of today's games mean as we have some time. Look at that ball, not only clearing the fence, clearing the higher fence, which if you're just watching Baseball 5 for the first time, you might be wondering why that is not a good thing. But in Baseball 5, you have to bounce it once on the court. As was done right there, played nicely by Varvara Baitul. And the side retired, but Lithuania with some work to do, down 4-0 going to the top of the third. There's the fans from Japan, hoping to see their squad register this 7th place finish. That was one that probably shouldn't have been thrown. After making the initial bobble, diving towards third base. It was no doubt a strong throw, but it was not an accurate one. Now it's Baitul playing it over to first, then the throw past third. That will score, or will it? Oh no, the batter was ruled out. Maybe we'll see a replay. The ball called short of the no-hit line. So instead of Lithuania scoring their first run, they still have that runner at second with just the one out now. And that's the kind of thing where Japan can make you pay. You make one little mistake, there's an out, back across, safe throw home, out at home plate. What a play. That's the defense we've come to expect from Japan this week. And they still keep Lithuania off the scoreboard through 3. So Japan gets back to it. They are looking really sharp this morning. And it's easier to look sharp when you play with a lead. I don't want to belabor that point too much. But it is amazing the difference between the way it goes when you score first and when you have to come from behind. And I'm not talking about sets. In fact, we've seen a lot of teams throughout this tournament drop a first set but then come back and win the match. And Lithuania very disorganized in this first set of the morning. But again, it is just one set. So we'll see if they're able to shake it off, come back and have a strong start to set 2. Not going to say that they can't come back in set 3, but I'm just not seeing the signs that this team has a comeback in them here with so little time remaining. Only 6 outs left to play with for Lithuania. Struggling both on defense and offense. Almost a great play at the plate, but the run will score. That was Hirata coming down the line and making it 6-0 Japan. Meanwhile, all the way at third goes Shogo Hirano. Wow. A bobble up the middle. 7-0 Japan. Still nobody out. And they barely are able to make the play at second. There was a couple things going on there. Vismantas Valionis, who could have caught it, did not. The runner, seeing that the line drive might be caught, waited to break for second. Viljonas able to pick it up and throw it to second. And even though it wasn't a good throw, a nice job by Tool to pick it up and get an important first out in the last of the third. And then that one slips by the hand of Zlatovarishis. First and second for Japan. The bare hand play is not an easy one to make. That was a nice job over at first by Tool. 7-zip. Japan with a hit here could make it 9-0. There was some spin on that ball. Credit the way Kira Baitul waited for it to come to her, didn't make an overly aggressive move one way or another, and wound up in the right place at the right time. Nice underhand play over to first, and that will end the inning. Japan just keeps adding. They scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 more in the third. They lead 7-0 with Lithuania coming up in the fourth. Not really time to wait around if you're Lithuania. You need Augustas Jansenas to start something here. I love that play. Jansenas seeing the Japan defenders all back, expecting him to hit it hard. Went soft up the middle. And now Viljonas will look to follow that up. These are two teams that like to play everybody on their rosters. We've already seen a substitution for Lithuania in this game. Viljonas didn't start in the lineup. He was batting in place of Michuta. One out, one in scoring position. Now 2 outs with a runner on third. Will Lithuania find a way to score here in the first set? If they don't in this top of the fourth, and Japan scores 3 in the fourth, it would be over in 4, this first set would, by virtue of the 10-run rule. I didn't expect we'd see a whole lot of games won by the 10-run rule. By Tool up the middle, good solid contact, but the catch made. Like we said, if Japan scores 3 here, they will win the set. By virtue of the 10-run rule, if a team is up by 10 or more after 4 innings, you move on to the next set. And a substitution again for Lithuania as they send in Gerda Vikulivaite to play first base. Keitaro Iramura, the batter for Japan, to lead off in the bottom of the fourth. Nice play. Vikulivaite ready. This is a very well-coached Lithuania team. Maxim Birdzin and Arvydas Birbalas, the 2 coaches, along with the team. And a nice grab. It seems like Lithuania has gotten themselves into this game. Nomeda Neveruskaite, another member of the coaching staff. She's also a member of the national team at the senior level. She's not on the bench. Teams are only allowed to have 2 coaches on the bench, but Nomeda, a big part of the Lithuania Baseball5 program. Not to mention one of the top players in the program. And you'll get to see her and other members of the Lithuania senior team when Lithuania hosts the European Championship in this sport. That's going to take place next month, or I guess it's the beginning of November, a little more than a month from now. Had a chance to catch up with her before the game and said there are some players from this Youth Baseball 5 World Cup team that will also compete as part of the European Championship squad. Line drive, nice grab. Going down to get it, the big man, Julius Ladavaricius. And it's a scoreless bottom of the fourth. That's the first zero that Lithuania's defense has put up. But my goodness, this game is not being played the way we thought it would on paper. Japan out-hitting Lithuania 14-3, despite the fact that Lithuania coming into this tournament ranked 3rd out of 14 teams in hits in the tournament, and Japan ranked 12th out of 14 teams in hits. Only Spain and Puerto Rico had fewer hits in the tournament coming into this contest. Only Cuba and Mexico had more hits than Lithuania coming into this contest. And the first ball from Vikulovaite goes foul. Pulled it a little bit past third base. If Lithuania does not score here in the top of the fifth, we'll congratulate Japan on a first set victory and turn our attention to set 2. And I think it's going to be a closer set 2, I really do. You're not seeing the best version of Lithuania right now. And they're down to their last out. Well, Jonas, he's not ready to give up on this game yet. A hard hit ball, well placed ball, good hustle. He got there. You saw the effort with the left hand from Iwamura. And a really nice ball put in play there by Zlatovaricius. We're going to see the first plate appearance now for Goda Utakite. Officials getting together near first base. I don't think they're worried about the call. Doing a little bit of court maintenance. Everything appears to be in order, so we're going to pick it up right where we left off. Can Utakite put it in play, find a way to extend the game. The right-hander tries a short ball that gets underhanded to first in time for the out. Japan wins the first set by a final score of 7-0. They are one set away from finishing their Baseball 5 Youth World Cup with a victory, and with it, it would come a 7th place finish. We'll talk more about that in set number 2, but first this short break. After a very one-sided first set that saw Japan win 7-0, Lithuania will lead us off here in set number 2, hoping to get off to a stronger start. Interesting that Japan wins 7-0 in a first set of a game that's going to determine the 7th place finisher. If you're into numbers, maybe you find that interesting. If you're not, maybe you don't, but I do. As we said, there are 4 placement round games before we get to tonight's medal games. Let's run you through what every game means. We'll start with the most important game of the night, the main event, Chinese Taipei and Cuba. Winner finishes first in this Youth Baseball 5 World Cup, and with the first place finish, they'll go home with the gold medals. Loser of that game will finish second. And Lithuania going to try to score here, and they do. They were shut out in the first set. They score a run before an out is recorded in set number 2. The bronze medal game that'll be played between Venezuela and Mexico is, yes, you guessed it, for the bronze medals, but also for 3rd place and 4th place. Winner finishes 3rd, loser finishes 4th. In the placement round, I think the biggest game, you could call it, will be between Turkey and Kenya. Turkey has been one of the great stories of this tournament. Kenya has too, and I think they're both so deserving of being in that 5th, 6th place game. Vikuluvaite batting here for Lithuania. Still no outs. She hits a carefully placed ball up the first base line. No play to be made for Japan, so look at this. Lithuania has them loaded. And they have a chance for a very big first inning. Goda Utakite takes a look towards the coaching staff, gets the signs, and hits it up the middle where it's dropped. There's going to be a race to home plate. Out because the force out was in play. Good recovery there by Shogo Hirano. And still just 1-0 Lithuania. He didn't catch it clean. Steps on the home plate white before the runner steps in the triangle on the opposite side of home plate, which is the design of the field. And now a bouncing ball, shortstop side. The run's going to score, nobody out on the play. 2-0 Lithuania. Vismantas Valionis smacks it, bounces off a Japan defender, and 1 by 1 Lithuania just keeps scoring. It's 3-0 now. You look at this and you think, what happened in that first set when Lithuania was shut out? They just didn't look like they were quite ready to go this morning, as they add a 4th run in the first inning. We've talked about Japan's lack of offense throughout the tournament. This is going to be a tough deficit to overcome. They did make a good play there for the second out of the inning. Now a soft one towards third. A throw goes way offline. 5-0 Lithuania in the first. That was a pretty heady play by Vikuluvaite. You saw how she looked first base side and then hit it third base side just beyond the line, forcing the bad throw, picking up the RBI. That was awesome. And now Japan, with the underhand throw over to first, will get out of the inning. But what an inning for Lithuania. 5-0 the score. Holy cow, we might be headed for another 3-set thriller here in the game for 7th place. We do have 2 other games to tell you about that we haven't gotten to yet. One of them is underway. It's the Tunisia-Puerto Rico matchup. Tunisia probably would have hoped to be playing in one of the higher seeding games Puerto Rico, they're still kind of an upstart program. They've been close to winning a lot of games, but haven't gotten it done yet. So that's happening right now over on field 2. Winner, again, finishes in 11th place, the loser in 12th. And then a great European matchup in the 9-10 game, Spain and France. That'll take place over on field 2 later on this morning. The winner will finish in 9th, the loser in 10th. I think that's one of the biggest surprises of the tournament is that France is playing in the 9-10 game. France silver medalists at the last 2 WBSC Baseball 5 World Cups. Last year in Hong Kong, it was France in the championship game against Cuba. They took home the silvers. They couldn't beat Cuba. Same story at the Youth Baseball 5 World Cup in 2023 in Turkey. France finishing in 2nd place, but they will not medal, and they may wind up with a 10th place finish if they can't beat Spain. Tony Alvarez will have the coverage of that one. We've played upwards of 10 games every day so far in this tournament, but today just 6 total. And they will all be aired live here on the WBSC YouTube channel and Facebook. WBSC.org, of course, your headquarters for all the action. Social media has been a big part of the story since the beginning of Baseball 5, and we appreciate you continuing to comment and like on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. There's always a great chatter on the YouTube feed, so thank you for being here and being a part of it. And would you look at this first inning answer from Japan? They've already gotten 3 back after Lithuania scored 5 in the top of the first. It's 5-3. Maybe Japan was saving its biggest offensive output for its last game. First base side. Out there. And now a throw to second. I don't think that throw needed to be made. Japan with some big smiles as they have pulled within 1. Ground ball left side. The first inning will continue. A 9-run inning. And we're not done yet. Up the middle, this could tie it up, and it will. 5-5, bottom of the first. What an answer by a Japan team that is not content to play for a 3rd set after winning the first so easily, 7-0. The batter now, Aika Morimoto. That ball had some slice. You could see the way it just stopped. Not an easy ball to pick up. Good job by Lithuania to get out of the inning without falling behind, but has to be disappointing for the yellow, green, and red to be even after that strong top of the first where they scored 5. Jansenas leading off as we start the second. Good morning to you wherever you are in the world. It's probably not morning, actually. Not a lot of places where it's still morning as we're on the west coast of Mexico. Good afternoon to you, perhaps good evening to you. Wherever you're watching, we're happy to have you along. In Japan, it may even be tomorrow morning. In Lithuania, no doubt, the late afternoon, evening hours on a Saturday. Nice underhand play there. And 2 quick outs. Japan looking a little sharper here in the second inning than they did in the first. And a nice careful throw from short. The Japan crowd loves the 1-2-3 ball inning. Something unique to Baseball 5. There can be just 3 swings of the arm. And since every play is an action play, if the defense stands up, that's all you've got. Leading off with a hard ball foul is Hirano, and like we said, every play is an action play. There are no foul balls, so that's out number 1. Trying third base again, that time it was Coco Tanio. Easy catch made by Toole. Throw to first, and it's a 3-ball inning for Japan in the bottom of the second. So they are parroting whatever Lithuania does in their half of every inning. It was 5 runs in the first, top half. Japan answers with 5 in the bottom. Lithuania goes down 1, 2, 3 in the second. So does Japan in their half of the second. A fired up Gerda Vikuluvaite after making that catch, and now she will lead off for Lithuania in the third. To the pitcher's position, the sidearm flip, and out number 1. Utakite, ground ball on the left side. And so the last 8 balls that have been put in play, actually 9, the last 9 balls put in play between these two teams have all resulted in outs. That's how well both teams are playing defensively at the moment. That streak will end right there. A 2-out hit. Good hustle up the line from Jansenas. And here's Valjonas, one of the youngsters on this Lithuania team. To be eligible for this tournament, players can be born anytime between 2007 and 2011. Safe on a bang-bang play at second. After the bobble, the tap over to second base, that one was really close. They always are, I should say, as you've noticed watching Baseball 5. Every play is a close play. We introduced you to the Lithuania coaching staff in set 1. Here in set 2, we can talk about Taichi Motoike, who's the head coach for Japan. Japan out of the top of the third with the tie 5-5 still intact. The other coach for Japan, one of the great names in Baseball 5, Ayako Rokaku. She has been one of the most vocal proponents of the game. She is one of the stars of the game. Going back to the inaugural World Cup in 2022 in Mexico City, she led Japan into the World Championship final against Cuba. Cuba won the World Championship in Mexico City because, as we know, they've won every Baseball 5 World Championship played to date. But Rokaku is a star and one of the great ambassadors for the game as well, and now a coach at this youth level. Really nice play from first there by Vikuluvaite. Watch this, knew exactly where to go with it and put a nice soft bounce on the ball, making it easy to handle for Valjonas. In a tie game in the middle innings, it is important to get that lead runner if at all possible. Can't get the lead runner there. So something developing for Japan, first and second. Just the 1 out. I don't know about that decision to throw to third because it's going to allow Japan to score. That ball looked like one where you could have tagged the runner and gone to first. Could have been a potential double play. Instead, they don't get an out. 2 runs are about to come in the bottom of the third on that ground out. It becomes 7-5 Japan. If Japan wins this set, you might have to go back to that play where Lithuania passed up the potential double play to try and get the lead runner at third. Now Lithuania down by 2, only has 6 outs to work with. And of the total of 8 innings we've played so far today, Lithuania has been able to score in just 1. Time called, but another run home for Japan in what's turning into a big bottom half of the third inning. Timeout taken by Maxime Berdzin. It just keeps coming now, 9-5 Japan. Only 1 out still. And it's slipping away from Lithuania here. Japan with its second 5-run inning of this set. They won the first set 7-0. A foul ball will be out number 2. Boy, did Lithuania need that. Has the damage been done, though? Yuna Suihiro. The batter hits it to short, and the easiest play for Lithuania there to get the lead runner at third. And they're going to try and rally. They'll regroup, and we'll see if they can score 5 or 6 in these next 2 innings while keeping Japan off the board. Lithuania was dragged into a serious contest last night with Kenya after winning the first set relatively easily. As we try to find it, yeah, more than relatively easily. Lithuania blew out Kenya 13-1 in the first set of each of those teams' last games of the night. And then Kenya came back with a second set thrilling 2-1 victory to force a third. It went back and forth in the third set. Kenya won that one too. The final was 7-4. And that was a really bitter defeat from the Lithuania standpoint, especially when you win that first set by 12 runs. They won it 13-1, but then 2-1, 7-4 Kenya. That's why Kenya is going to be playing in the 5-6, 5th place, 6th place game, and why Lithuania is playing in this 7-8, 7th place, 8th place game. And they're going to have a very quiet 1, 2, 3, 4th. And Japan feeling really good about their chances here for sure. It's going to be Kenya taking on Turkey in the 5-6 game. That's the next one to be played here at Field 1. Japan and Turkey played a classic yesterday. It was a straight set win for Turkey, 2-0. But both sets were awfully close and couldn't have gotten closer in the first one. Turkey won 5-4. And then in the second set, Turkey beat Japan 6-4. Now a throw towards second hits the back of the base runner, and it's been that kind of morning for Lithuania. with the exception of the top of the first when they scored the 5 runs to take a 5-0 lead. Now it's been 10 unanswered for Japan. And they are finding the spots. Here's a throw home. Oh, that's a pretty good throw, but just does sail by Jansenas. Nobody out, runners on second and third. If Lithuania is not careful, they may not get to bat again in this tournament. If Japan adds 4 more runs, they'll win it 15-5. By virtue of the 10-run lead in the 4th inning, and that's a missed opportunity for Lithuania. They just have not been sharp. 12 unanswered runs. It's a hard play to make, that line drive. The baseball 5 ball is designed to bounce. It is just soft enough that you can squeeze it. Good play here over to third to get the lead runner. If you're Lithuania, you just want a chance. Find a way out of this inning so you come up in the 5th. Bases loaded. That's the game-winning run on first. Nice pickup, and then the throw home. 2 outs in the inning. The batters here in for Japan. Quick conversation at the scorer's table. The game-winning run now on second. A well-placed ball here could end it. That's Sorato Kezuka. Stretching out, he's jumping, he's ready to run from second. Ball hit off the wall, right side, throw to first, it gets away, and scoring is Kezuka. As Japan has taken a 15-5 lead. And that should be all. A 10-run lead in the 4th means this ball game is over. Congratulations to Japan in a straight set victory. 7-0 in the first, 15-5 in the second. Lithuania got off to a fast start, but Japan scores 15 straight runs to claim a 7th place finish here at the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Lithuania, they'll finish in 8th. It's not a bad place to be, middle of the pack. Both of these two teams, I'm sure both saw themselves as contenders for medals, but they have to be pleased with their efforts, both coming up with some signature wins. Lithuania just did not have enough here this morning to take on what was clearly a very motivated Japan squad. You see the display of good sportsmanship, and we wish these teams well. Lithuania, they'll be the hosts of the European Baseball 5 World Cup Championship. I think it's called the European Cup. That's going to be in November, Baseball 5 fans. You'll want to check it out. But for now, we'll pause from Tepic, Nayarit, and we'll be back with the game for 5th place. It's going to be Turkey and Kenya. That start time just after 12 local time. We'll see you all soon. Take care from Tepic.
Muy buenos días, damas y caballeros. Bienvenidos al Campo Lealtad del Parque La Loma en Tepic, Nayarit, México. Para el partido número 54 de la segunda edición de la Copa Mundial Juvenil de Baseball5 de la Confederación Mundial de Béisbol y Softball. El día de hoy, el partido entre Turquía y Kenia. Representando al equipo visitante de Turquía, los jugadores titulares son, con el número 47, Muhammed Miuta Alkan. Con el número 99, Osman Burukan. Con el número 9, Yamur Bosda. Con el número 1, Atikan Aksi. Y con el número 11, Seyran Nisa Özdemir. Y el resto de los jugadores, con el número 2, Heda Anil. Con el número 7, Eylul Ablak. Y con el número 8, Bilal Emir Pekal. El entrenador principal, Hasan Helva. Y el líder de la delegación, Mustafa Kayahan. Y representando al equipo local de Kenia, los jugadores titulares son, con el número 6, Samuel Ondieki Ozongo. Con el número 14, Cliff Omondi Opio. Oficial de home plate, Francisco López de Venezuela. Oficial de primera base, José Rogelio Olivas Martínez de México. Oficial de segunda base, Oscar Eduardo Valerio López de México. Oficial de tercera base, Héctor Jesús Martínez Pico de México. Y el oficial de mesa, Fernando Soto Franco de México. Damas y caballeros, de la manera más atenta y amable, les pedimos que por favor nos pongamos de pie los que podamos, quítense el sombrero y guardemos silencio para escuchar las notas del himno nacional de Turquía. De igual manera, les pedimos su atención y respeto para escuchar las notas del himno nacional de Kenia. Agradecemos su atención y ha llegado el momento de dar...
A beautiful Saturday afternoon in Tepic, Nayarit, Mexico, as we move along in the fourth and final day of this WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. You see Parque La Loma, the site of this Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Craig Durham, happy to have your company for the fifth place game, this one between Turkey and Kenya. First ever appearance for Kenya in a Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. For Turkey, it's the second. They hosted the last edition of the Youth Baseball 5 World Cup, and they wound up in fourth place after losing the bronze medal game to Mexico. So at worst, it'll be a sixth place finish this year. At best, a fifth place finish this year for Turkey. A very solid squad. But this is going to be a really good matchup. I think these two teams are so evenly matched with one another. Kenya has had some big wins. They've had some disappointing defeats, but I think their biggest win, their most signature moment of this tournament came last night. A come-from-behind 2-1 victory over Lithuania. They dropped the first set. I think it was 12-1. And then they came back one set, 2-1 before going on to win the third set and win it the match. And that's how they earned the right to play in this 5-6 matchup. They also had a great game yesterday against Mexico. Kenya had a chance to play themselves into contention for a medal game. They lost a 3-set heartbreaker to Mexico, so we're excited to see how they're feeling, how they're looking today. Kenya taking the field wearing the whites, Turkey wearing the reds. You just briefly saw the graphic with our international officiating crew, and the officials, as always, doing a great job. The group that has gotten together for this one features Francisco Lopez at home plate, Jose Olivas at first, Oscar Valerio at second, Hector Martinez at third, and Fernando Soto at the table. And that table official, that's an important role. We'll talk about that and other officiating particulars as this game goes along. Kenya with a leadoff hit. Or Turkey rather, with a leadoff hit. A chance to make a play there by Valentine, but a little too much on that one from Alkan, and now we get the out on the foot violation. Osman Varushkin couldn't keep his foot off the line in the batter's square. And that'll be the first out of the first inning. And that brings Yahir Bojdags, who has been one of the stories, I think, of this Baseball 5 Youth World Cup. Able to reach base that time and advance the runner. We're very glad to have you with us wherever you're watching from. Throw over to first. Kenya gets the second out of the inning, and then the important play covering home plate. Doing the job there was Yvonne Kaiga. Easy play, as you can see at first, and then Cliff quickly getting the ball down to the home plate area. So with runners on second and third, that's how they kept Turkey from scoring. And a chance to make a play on the left side instead. Turkey does take a 1-0 lead on a well-placed ball. So many great stories throughout this tournament. I think really this Kenya team is one of the best stories. They're a first-time participant, and they are looking awesome right there, making the grab on the hard line drive. And that will retire the side. So Turkey with a 1-0 lead as Kenya comes to bat in the bottom half of the first. Yagmar Bojdag is going to play first base. Has that long reach, which is an important part of playing first base in this sport. Onsongo, the leadoff batter. Usually he hits second for Kenya, but Samuel Onsongo does his job as the leadoff man. Finds his way aboard. Suhaida Anil playing second for Turkey. She drove in the run, the RBI hit in the top of the first inning. And Cliff pulls it foul. No foul balls in baseball 5. If it lands on the wrong side of the stripe, it's an out. And that brings up Valentine Mukoya. Again, the winner of this game will finish 5th of the 14 teams that competed in the tournament. And the team that comes up short, they will finish in 6th place. We just had the 7-8 game played between Japan and Lithuania. Congratulations to Japan for winning that one, and with the win, finishing in 7th place. Lithuania is going to go home with an 8th place finish. I think those two teams coming into this tournament were hoping to be competing tonight for one of the medals, but they ran into some bumps along the way. And a nice job by Turkey defensively as they get out of the first inning with a 1-0 lead against a Kenya squad that just never quits. Here's Varushkan out at first. You can see the good defense from both sides already. And here is Bojdag. Came to the world of baseball softball as a softball player, but now embracing baseball 5. Throw goes high there for Kenya, and there will be an extra base awarded. Nice job by Valentine to knock it down. And if that throw was a little lower, might have gotten the runner at first, but as you saw, it sails out of play. That's why the extra base and a runner on second with just one out for Turkey in the top of the second. Great play from the pitcher's position over to third where Valentine makes the throw. And now it's Ozdemir. Ozdemir unable to extend the inning. And Kenya will come back up in the bottom of the second. You see how quickly this game moves along. That matchup between Japan and Lithuania did not even last an hour. That's kind of an average time for a 2-set match, a little bit under 1 hour. And now a nice job going down to get the line drive by Varushkan. And back to the top of the lineup with Onsongo. Nice one-hand pickup and a strong throw. Terrific play. Anil from first. 2 up, 2 down. It's a best-of-3 set format, so even if you don't get off to a great start, even if you drop that first set, as Kenya showed us yesterday, it doesn't mean everything. Like we were saying in Kenya's matchup against Lithuania yesterday, they got blown out in set 1, 12-1. But to their credit, they did not get dispirited. They came right back. 1 set 2, 2-1. And then took the third set as well on their way to winning the game and getting into this matchup. The bounce over to first. Nice throw from Peter. I love that bounce play to first. You have no idea how much easier it makes it for the first baseman to catch it when it comes over on a bounce as opposed to on a fly. I wish everybody watching has had the chance to play Baseball 5, because once you've handled it and once you feel just how bouncy that ball is, you start to understand how impressive these high-level players are in the discipline. 2 outs, nobody on meanwhile. And a ground ball to third with a throw to first. Catch made by Cliff, who shows he doesn't have a problem catching it on a line. He had a couple of different balls come to him a couple of different ways, one on a hop, one straight across. And Turkey down in order in their half of the third inning. So a low-scoring affair, bottom of the third, 1-0. Valentine's leadoff ball looked like it might have been sailing up towards the wall, but the catch made anyway by Muhammad Muta Alkan. So after fully extending up, Alkan goes down to get the ground ball. Nice tunes today here on Field 1. The DJ is a big part of the Baseball 5 ambiance. And it's really what makes this game so fun, that live music is always playing. Other sports, you know, a little bit more serious. You've got to cut the music out when the ball goes in play. Like if you've ever watched a traditional baseball or softball game, the music plays between innings and sometimes even between at-bats. Obviously every player has their like walk-up song, so you get a little taste of it. But the second the action starts, everybody gets very serious. You have to cut out the music right away, but not in Baseball 5. Nice throw to first, and these defenses are razor sharp on this Saturday afternoon, just 10 minutes past 12 o'clock local time. Here's Ozdemir. Another ball hit to short, another ball picked up on a bounce at first. And a third chance from the shortstop position. Again, a 1-2-3 inning. We're 10 minutes into this opening set, and we're in the bottom of the fourth. We could be on pace to set a record here for the fastest Baseball 5 set ever. And if we continue at this pace, we might get there. Just hit 11 minutes. A fast set is considered any set, in my opinion, under 20 minutes. And we look like, unless something changes dramatically, we're going to break that pace. One of the rare miscues defensively. Will that open the door for Kenya? We've seen so much strong play from the shortstop position. Cliff had his foot cross the box, so he'll be ruled out. The runner will have to go back to first. This game's featured a total of just 5 hits so far. 4 for Turkey. Sorry, 6 hits. 2 for Kenya, 4 for Turkey. Most of Turkey's hits coming in the first inning when they scored the game's lone run. Valentine, right side, out on the force out, but the tying run moves into scoring position. Here's Peter Mwambo. Up the middle, going to be a tough play. Thought Kenya might try and force the issue, try and score. You're just not guaranteed another hit with 2 outs. Sometimes I think the best strategy is to force the defense to make a play. But Kenya trusting their offense to get one more hit. Now with 2 runners in scoring position, one more hit could give Kenya the lead here in the last of the fourth. And if they do have the lead, then Turkey would have to score in the top of the 5th. Turkey's coach, Hassan Helva, comes over to the scorer's table. I'm not sure what he saw on the scoreboard. Honestly, I think that was just a little bit of gamesmanship. He felt the Kenya momentum and did what he could to try and slow it down. Yvonne, the batter. She hits it hard, up the middle, play to first, and there's 3 outs. Kenya goes down in the bottom of the 4th. And so we move into the 5th with a minimum score, 1-0. Verushkin to lead off. Time called. Something was dropped onto the field by somebody on Turkey's bench. Time was called right before the ball put in play. So let's do it again. They keep trying the shortstop spot. I would try something new if I was Turkey because Peter Mwambo is all over this thing defensively. Bozdag takes a look around. You see the eyes moving around the field, trying to find that spot. Foul ball. That was not the spot. Wrong side of the third baseline. Tense moments here in the 5th inning of the opening set of the 5th place game. That one went out. And if Turkey doesn't score, they'll have to be perfect defensively to keep Kenya from staging a late game comeback. Or perhaps they find a way to push one across with 2 outs here. Valentine can't squeeze it on the fly. Muhammad Al Khan, big spot. 2 straight hits with 2 outs. Will there be another? No, there will not. It's a foul ball. And to the bottom of the 5th we go. I don't think we've had a 1-0 final score in a set yet in this tournament. Turkey trying to do not the impossible, but the exceptionally rare. Onsongo, right side. From her knees, Ozdemir makes the play to first. Kenya down to its last 2 outs. Cliff takes a look around. Hits it hard. But a terrific defensive play by Alkan. Is Turkey about to polish off a 1-0 victory in the first set? Or does Kenya have a 2-out rally? Here's Valentine. Valentine drops it up the middle. She loves going to the pop-up play, and I'm not sure there's anybody in this tournament better at it than Valentine Mukoya. The fielders did not attempt to grab it because they thought it might hit the wall on the fly, which would have been the last out of the set, but instead the tying run is aboard. Here's Peter. And that's going to wind up in the corner behind first base. Valentine stops at second, back-to-back 2-out hits. That was the chance there for Ozdemir to squeeze it. It would have ended the game if she'd been able to squeeze it and flip it to first. Again, Yvonne comes up in a big spot. Hits it hard. Ozdemir to first, and Turkey in 18 minutes wins the opening set 1-0. The rarest of final scores, the smallest of final scores. And now Turkey is one set win away from a 5th place finish at this 2025 edition of the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. We'll step away for just a minute and come back with set number 2. First set that saw Turkey win by the minimum score of 1-0. We will begin set number 2 here at field number 1. We'll keep the numbers coming. Day 4 at the WBSC Baseball 5 World Cup. 3 5-inning sets is the maximum that we'll play, and if Kenya has its way, we will play 3 5-inning sets. Kenya needs to win this second set to force a third. We're almost ready to begin, but at the scorer's table, they hold up their hands just to confirm that the lineup is inputted correctly, and it has been inputted correctly. So off we go. A little change to the lineup, as leading off for Turkey is Muhammad Alkan. Alkan blasting it up the middle. That was one of the hardest hit balls of this game so far. We have not yet developed a ball that has sensors in it, so you can't quite get the speed once it's put in play. You can kind of tell from the sound of it how hard it's hit, and that one was absolutely smashed. And then you get the total opposite on the foul ball, the out. That'll send the runner back to first. Really smart defense there by Kenya. They had a couple of choices. They could have picked it up. Oh, yeah. That was clearly foul. They could have picked it up. I thought it was fair at first, but it wasn't. So, a foul ball. does not advance the runner, and that was the entire intent of that play, was to advance the runner to second. Now a drop at second base. One of the rare defensive miscues so far in this contest. And we'll see if that allows Turkey to take advantage and maybe take a first inning lead. The only run that was scored in the first set was scored in the first inning. Seyran Özdemir hits it first base side. That's a fair ball, but she's out. Now coming home, that's a run for Turkey. I'm not sure why Kenya was not so quick to hurry the ball home. Good base running. Alkan saw an opening and he took it. Watch the way Kenya reacted after getting the out at first base. I guess Ida didn't wait too long. It was truly just the heads-up base running for Alkan that got him home to give Turkey a 1-0 lead. So a similar story to the very first inning of the very first set, when Turkey scored a run that stood up as the game winner. Taking a look at Eylül Ablak playing second base in this second set for Turkey. A mixed gendered sport, which really makes it stand out among other international competitive endeavors. A team has to have at least 2 players of each gender on the court at all times. So in this second set, Turkey electing to have 3 girls, 2 boys. And Kenya has 2 runners on with nobody out. I would be shocked if they're shut out again in this second set after being held scoreless in the first. You see that throw got there, but just a little too late. And now Valentine up the first base line. An aggressive play by Bojdag trying to cut down the lead runner at third. The throw offline and a run scores for Kenya. We are tied at 1. Runners on second and third with nobody out. Now I'd be shocked if Kenya doesn't take the lead here in the first inning. That's a high risk, high reward play. The throw really wasn't too bad, but it just wasn't good enough. And now a throw over to first for the first out, the bottom of the first inning. But Peter Onsongo scores and Kenya has a lead. It's 2-1. I think Kenya's played more 3-set matches than any other team in the tournament. Both of its games yesterday went the distance. First against Mexico in the afternoon. It's funny, actually. We just were talking about how that first set took 18 minutes here today, one of the fastest sets you'll ever see. The 3-set match between Kenya and Mexico yesterday went 1 hour and 55 minutes. That may have been the longest Baseball 5 World Cup game in history. And then last night against Lithuania, it was another 3-set thriller, with Lithuania taking the first set and Kenya taking the next 2. Not sure what this conversation is about, but something being straightened out at the scorer's table. Meanwhile, you may hear the national anthem of France being played. France and Spain are set to square off in an all-European game for 9th place. The 9-10 matchup. France was likely expecting to be in the medal round. Instead, they're going to have to beat a pretty pesky Spain team to finish 9th out of the 14 nations that participated in this tournament. France sits high in the Baseball 5 world rankings. And I think it has to be considered a little bit of a disappointment for the French national team to be playing in that 9-10 game. France right now is 3rd in the world. Cuba's number 1, Japan is number 2, France number 3. Japan's already wrapped up its Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Japan will finish in 7th place, having beaten Lithuania earlier today. Again, France, the best they can do is finish 9th. So those world rankings may be about to change. Chinese Taipei coming into the tournament ranked 4th in the world. They're going to take on Cuba tonight for the World Championship. Kenya, the 11th ranked team in the world, Turkey 14th. So they're probably about to jump up in the Baseball 5 official rankings, considering that they're both going to finish 5 and 6. In what order, we're not sure yet. After that delay, we're back underway, and Kenya scores again, 3-1 in the bottom of the first. Again, it's worth mentioning the World Championship matchup tonight will be between Cuba and Chinese Taipei, world number 1 and world number 4. The bronze medal game will be between worlds number 6 and 7, Mexico and Venezuela. Tunisia came into this tournament ranked 5th in the world. They lost the 11-12 matchup to Puerto Rico. Congratulations to Puerto Rico for coming up with that victory. Puerto Rico is going to finish in 11th place, Tunisia in 12th. Foul ball there for Valentine. And that's the second out of the bottom of the first inning. After we finish this game here and the Spain-France game ends, there will be just the 2 medal games remaining. I'll be joined by Tony Alvarez for both of those contests. Kenya scores 3 meanwhile in the bottom of this first inning, and Turkey will trail 3-1 when they come to bat in the second. Only 30 seconds between innings. Speed, the name of the game. Baseball 5, a dynamic, fast discipline, and part of a suite of great events hosted around the world by the WBSC this month. We had the U18 Baseball World Cup in Okinawa, Japan. The U18 Softball World Championship gets underway today in Oklahoma City in the United States. And this Baseball 5 Youth World Cup in Tepic, Nayarit, Mexico. Pretty rare to have 3 marquee events in the exact same month, but that's what the WBSC is doing here in the month of September. There's still an e-baseball World Cup to be played later in the calendar year, as well as other regional competitions, including the WBSC Youth, or rather the European Baseball 5 World Cup. That'll take place in Lithuania in October. There's a tag and a flip to first, but it's dropped at first, so no double play. Bozdag's going to be at third. Watch how close it was on the replay. Oh, that would have been the double play because the tag was applied. But then Ida the drop, but quickly recovered and threw the ball home as we have an injury here. Coming out of the game is Ansil. So Turkey is forced to go to the bench, or they will when Ansil's turn comes up again. Ground ball, meanwhile, to third. Bozdag's headed home, and Turkey's going to score 1, maybe 2. Yeah, they'll score 2 and tie it up. Three in the second. Kenya missing opportunities here. They missed the double play, and then that ball from third to first looked like it could have worked out. Still they survive and will head into the bottom of the second with the score tied. And look at Anseal, he's going to stay in the game. He came off, like we said, looking to be in a bit of pain. Ida's ball left side gets handled and sent to first for the out. Hard hit past third base. That's a fair ball. And now a drive to third. And another base hit. So with one out, 2 aboard for Kenya. Peeking over at field 2, France has a 1-0 lead over Spain. That's the first set of their 9-10 matchup. Winner of that one finishes in 9th, the loser finishes in 10th. And here in the 5-6 matchup, we're in the second set. Turkey beat Kenya 1-0 in the first. It's 3-3 so far in the second. On paper, these teams were so evenly matched, and so far, it's being played that way. Ground ball knocked down, flipped across, underhand to first, and that retires the side. Looking at the full team stats in the tournament, these two teams have been in the upper half in terms of the offense they've produced. Kenya coming in with the 4th most hits. Only Cuba, Lithuania, and Mexico have more hits in the tournament. Turkey 6th. 187 hits for Kenya, 146 for Turkey. There's obviously, you hear a big gap between 4th and 5th in that category. Chinese Taipei, who we have been telling you is going to play in the championship game tonight, they have 125 hits, which is 9th most in the tournament, but there's more to it than that. Chinese Taipei has only played 8 games so far. And by games, I should have said sets. They have not lost a set yet. Their batting average at .546 is second only to Venezuela, batting .561 thus far in the tournament. Now ball lined to first, back to first, double play. A headlong dive from Ozdemir, a great effort, but not quite enough to keep the inning alive. There's the hands from Ida, and out. Great play there. Going to the bottom of the third. Kenya looking to reclaim a lead. Softly hit, left side, safe. Yvonne, the second batter of the inning. Good placement of that ball. Exactly the start to this third inning Kenya was looking for. Bases loaded now, none out. We'll see if Valentine goes back to the pop-up play. She hit the last one up the middle, dropped it in between second base and the back wall. No, she's going to go soft, first base side. Bozdag takes the easiest out. That was to tag the runner. Ida scores. Kenya back in front, 4-3. I think she was willing to get tagged out there just so long as it brought the run home. And now past the dive, up the middle from Alkan. Another run scores. And good alert base running by Peter Mwambo to take second base as it goes to 5-3 Kenya. Handled at third by Ozdemir. 2 away. In this very productive bottom of the third inning for Kenya, where they've taken a 5-3 lead. They ruled that that ball hit the turf before it was picked. That was really close. Almost caught on the fly. Let's take another look. Well, that's a tough angle to see, but obviously the officials right on top of it. Multiple officials making the safe call. That still isn't quite enough for Hassan Helba. He's going to ask for the officials to get together and talk about it. Maybe 1 out of 20 times the officials get together to talk about it, do they wind up changing the call? Wouldn't expect that here, because it wasn't just one official who made the initial safe call. There were a number of officials who saw that play the same way, but they are having more than a short chat about it. Certainly nothing to change with the call at first. Good hustle from Ida to beat it out. It was a good call. And I think you didn't see much of an argument from the Turkey players, and that's a really good sign of the right call being made. You know, I think the players are the best judge as we get a throw home. That was a great, accurate throw, a hard throw, but still not in time to get Peter racing down the third base line, and Kenya's lead goes up to 4. But just to finish that thought, if the players themselves don't immediately start to argue, that tells me that they know that the right call was made initially. Now Valentine goes back to the pop-up play, but it is caught by Anseal. That was awesome. Fully extending and managing to avoid a hard collision with the wall. Watch this. Valentine loves that pop-up. Look at the extension, the squeeze. Ooh, it did pop out, but the out call had already been made. Heck of a play right there to send us to the 4th, but Turkey with some work to do. After their 1-0 first set win, They're looking for more. It may not be until the third set, though, that they have a chance to get back on top of Kenya. Kenya's playing a great second set, and this has just been their MO. Yeah, they might drop the first one, but they find a way to come back and oftentimes take the second and third. That was a pretty rare miscue defensively for this team, at least in this second set, really in this entire game. Think about how good the defense has to be, even when you are on the losing side of a 1-0 score. Defense was darn near perfect, and that was a great play by Valentine to get the lead runner at second base. Valentine started it. She kind of deflected it to Peter, who did the rest. Now Valentine throws to first, but good hustle. And Ansel legs it out. Kenya's scored 80 runs so far in the tournament, which again is high among the rankings. Only 3 teams have scored more. Mexico and Lithuania have both scored exactly 111, as Bojdag's going to be tagged out at the plate, trying to score there. And instead, it'll still be 7-3 Kenya now with 2 outs. Kenya didn't even bother with the out at first. They saw the opportunity to keep a run off the board. They took it. Perfect defensive play there. But the inning will continue. Tying run coming to the plate. Getting into crunch time. Good ball right there for Oblak. Off the wall, flip to second. And we will go to the bottom of the fourth. Kenya looking for some insurance. We're going to have a substitution here. Oblak's coming out. Defensive substitutions, pinch hitters, it works similarly to the way it does in baseball and softball. Speaking of softball, Anil comes in. Throw over to first for the out. Ida swings, 2-hopper to short. The bounce across and a great pick on the hop by Bojdag. Who we said she and Anil both participated in a U18 softball event earlier this season and have really taken to Baseball 5 largely because of their backgrounds in softball. Another chance from short, this time an easier play at first for Bojdag. And down goes Kenya, 1-2-3 in the fourth. Can Kenya protect the 4-run lead in the top of the fifth inning and force a third set? We're about to find out. Ground ball gets by Valentine. Awesome start for Turkey. Saw the frustration there from Kenya's third baseman. Might have just taken her eye off it for a second. Now she throws to second base and it bounces out of play, and look out, Turkey's on the move. Runners on second and third. Up the middle. There was no advance there off second base, but the run scores, and it's 7-4. On Seal. First out of the inning. O'Neill hitting it foul. And with all the momentum on Turkey's side, that one hurts. If she'd been able to produce a fourth straight hit, you'd have had the tying run on base. Instead, one out, and Kenya can kind of breathe a little easier for the moment. Well, not so easy though. Here's a throw home. It's late. Turkey is within two. It's 7-5. The tying run's on first, and there's only one out. Might they come all the way back? Remember, they won the first set 1-0. So if they can make it two in a row, that would be the ball game. That would be the end of the tournament for these two teams. Would be a first place finish for Turkey. Bojdag advances both runners. You can understand the thinking there. Now a single ties it. Tough to give up an out when you now have one left to play with. It all truly comes down to this. Ansil waits for the ball from home plate official Francisco Lopez. Ball in play, up the middle, it's bobbled, throw to first. In time for the out. Kenya wins the second set by a score of 7-5. So we're going three. Would you expect anything less with the way this Kenya team's competed in this tournament? 1-0 Turkey in the first, 7-5 Kenya in the second. We'll take a short break and come back with the third. Well, we've gotten to our first 3-set match of the day. It's Turkey and Kenya for 5th place at the WBSC Youth Baseball 5 World Cup, the 4th ever Baseball 5 World Cup event, and the second to be held in Mexico. We are in Tepic, the capital of Nayarit. And after a 1-0 set 1 win for Turkey, Kenya held on despite a 5th inning charge from Turkey to win the second set 7-5. And now the visitors, Turkey, with a leadoff base runner. Their leadoff man, Muhammad Al-Khan, has had a really solid game. So has Kenya's shortstop, Peter Mwambo. That was one of the few balls hit to short that did not produce an out. Now a throw over to first with nobody there. And a really fast start would be ideal for Turkey. It's becoming clearer and clearer as this tournament rolls along that playing with the lead is your best bet to win a game. Not easy to come from behind, especially if that number is kind of crooked when you score first. If you can get 2 or 3 up on somebody early, first, second inning. Oh, nice catch there, and the flip to first for a double play. Really a great read up the middle by the pitcher's spot. You see she read the eyes of Bojdag and made the play, so 2 gone. Just as quickly as this promising rally started, but now a bounce off the hands at second, and Turkey will go on the board in the first inning, taking a 1-0 lead and sending Özdemir to the plate. 2 of the most sure-handed players up the middle, Peter and Onsongo, both unable to handle balls that we've seen them take care of throughout this game and throughout this tournament. And Turkey takes advantage, but they only score 1. 1-0 as Kenya comes to bat in the bottom half of the first. Meanwhile, over on Field 2, France beat Spain in the first set. They're playing the second set as we speak. It's the top of the second inning. Spain 3, France nothing. That ball did not clear the no-hit zone, 3-meter line. So a leadoff out. And here's Cliff with 1 out and nobody on base. Players are really allowed to do whatever they want as far as the pre-shot routine, as long as it doesn't take too long. We have not seen anybody even warned that they were taking too long, but it's really interesting to me to see the differences between every player's routine. Some just like to grip it and rip it. Others like a few bounces. Some like 1 bounce. Some will work it around tossing it one hand to the other, which I think is the riskiest play. Yair Ochoa, one of the top players for Mexico, right before he hits it, as we see the diving effort there from Verushkan. But he couldn't squeeze it. But Ochoa, when he bats for Mexico, he bounces it a few times, puts it in his left hand, then flips it from his left hand to his right, and then puts it in play. There's a lot of activity there, a lot of ways the ball can bounce away, and if it does, you don't get a second chance. If it bounces away, then you're out. But I got to give credit to Ochoa. He has not once dropped it with all the activity in his pre-shot routine. And now we go into the top of the second inning. Turkey 1, Kenya nothing. A smack, you could hear that one. But sometimes when you hit it hard, it just gets to the fielder quicker. And in that case, Peter did have it find him in a hurry, and then he whipped it sidearm across Cliff with the nice stretch, the sure-handed catch. And the leadoff batter retired. Now the pickup, safe. Yeah, that's the proper call. It was being juggled at first. There wasn't secure possession yet. If that ball had been caught cleanly, it would have been out, but by the time Cliff had it secured, the runner had already arrived. Now it's Bozdag. This time she looks towards first and hits it across her body. That's a great deke, which is becoming a more and more important part of the strategy as defenders start to anticipate where you're going to go with it. You saw the movement there from Yvonne Kaiga. She was following Bozdag's eyes, tried to cheat towards the first base side, and Bozdag hit it third base side. Now she's been forced out at second. However, aggressive base running from Enseal, and he winds up on second. So there's the out. Second and third, Turkey with a 1-0 lead. Could double it, could even triple it with a hit here. Instead, it's a ball ripped foul, and the side is retired. Turkey's trying to contend that one of the Kenya players touched it, or at least hoping that one of the Kenya players touched it. Well, that was very close. But Valentine did not get a fingertip on the ball. It hit the wall on the fly foul. And we move to the bottom of the second inning. Kenya trailing 1-0. Remember, this was the final score of the first set, 1-0. Another heavy smack, and that one bounces off the hands of Verushkin. With a 1-0 lead, that's the kind of play you really want to make. Bozdag can't catch it cleanly. Gets the out on Songo. Avoided the tag, but left the base path, and that is another rule that parallels baseball and softball. Watch this. Oh, if Bozdag's able to squeeze that, it would have been a double play, but you see on the replay there that Onsongo was way out of the baseline. So there's one out in the bottom of the second inning, and now a ball up the middle, bobbled, thrown to third. Coming home and scoring is Yvonne. And Kenya has tied it up here in the second, 1-1 the score. Uncharacteristic defensive struggles for this Turkey national team as Alessia Ciccone finds her way into the picture there, the official down at the scorer's table. Valentine. She has one of the longer pre-shot routines, bounces it a number of times. Grounds out to third. And that's the go-ahead run for Kenya at third base. Big spot here, 2 outs. And a ball, caroms to third, safe at first base. Peter wins the race. And it's 2-1 Kenya. They've come from behind to take a lead, but still a long way to go. We're in the bottom of the second. We're scheduled to play 5 in this, the third and deciding set in the 5th place game. Great call there. Beating that throw by a step. And a great job by our Mega Cable crew. 6 cameras here on Field 1 to provide the replays you need, the angles that you want. And now a line drive caught. And that'll end the inning. But Kenya scores twice in their half of the second. We go to the third. Kenya 2, Turkey 1. In this back and forth affair that saw Turkey win the first set, Kenya win the second set, and already a lead change here in the third. After this one concludes, there's just 2 games left to be played here on Field 1. The bronze medal matchup between Mexico and Venezuela, scheduled to start at 4 o'clock local time. It's now 4 minutes past 1 o'clock local time, so we're less than 3 hours away from the bronze medal game. And then the World Championship scheduled for 6 o'clock local time between Chinese Taipei and Cuba. Cuba has won every Baseball 5 World Cup that's ever been played. Will this be the first time ever that somebody knocks off Cuba? I think if there's been a team built to do it, it's this Chinese Taipei team. They are so good. Speaking of so good, that's how things are going for Turkey so far in the top of the third. They get the first 2 runners on, and they move them to second and third. So base hit here would tie it, maybe give Turkey the lead. Nice defensive scheming by Kenya to have somebody at home plate ready to receive that ball on the bounce. There it is, a 2-2 tie on the ground out. So with 2 away, the go-ahead run's on third. This one's tight. The batter will be Seyran Özdemir. Hits it hard to third. Valentine with the pick, left-handed on a short hop. That was one of the better defensive plays of this entire game, and it comes in a big moment. Oh, yeah. We'll go to the bottom of the third. That was awesome. Kenya's the home team here, and it doesn't always, in my opinion, make a big difference whether you're the home or away team. But when you get into a tight one like this, that's when it matters who comes up last. And this has the feeling of a game where you want to be the team that comes up last. Kenya seems to find a way to will themselves to victory more often than not. That's why they're in this 5th place game. Winner of this one finishes 5th. Loser finishes 6th. Round ball through the wickets on the right side, and just like Turkey had 2 on and none out in the top of the third, so does Kenya here in the bottom of the third. Valentine winds up, hits it right side past Bojdag. Recovered by Özdemir, who steps on the base for the out. Might have had the ball down on the court touching the base, which we've seen a lot of players do. And that's what it was. Sometimes that's your quickest route to get there. And now a pickup, but nobody at home, and then Bojdag drops it at first. Now she'll not have time to throw home. Kenya scores 2. And they have a 4-2 advantage with a runner on third and just 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. First ever Youth Baseball 5 World Cup appearance for this African nation, Kenya. And wouldn't that be something if they finish in 5th place in their first ever appearance at the event? That one hopped off the line. They go to first for the out. And there was no chance to get Peter once he decided to take off. Bojdag was trying to lead Verushkin to the plate, but I'm telling you, even a perfect throw there was not going to get the out. And it's 5-2 Kenya, biggest lead so far in this third set. Nice pickup. And the throw across is in time. Turkey with some work to do. Going into the 4th, trailing 5-2. They are capable of putting up the numbers, scoring in bunches, and they have to now, simply put, if they're to win their final game of the tournament. Another look quickly at Field 2 sees Spain leading France 4-3 in the top of the 5th inning. Winner of that game finishes in 9th place, the loser in 10th. Leadoff at bat for Turkey goes awry as Alkan hits it foul. All of a sudden, they're starting to run out of time. Just 5 outs left to play with. And the soft one on the left side bounces off Valentine. If Spain, just to finish the thought on field 2, wins this set, then they'll go to a third set tiebreaker. France won the first one. France is defending in the top of the 5th inning. So they'll try to keep Spain from scoring any insurance runs. Out at first base, Kenya can't believe that ball was not called dead. It was short of the 3-meter line, clearly. That allows Turkey to get a runner into scoring position. That's a big break. If that call had been made properly, then the runner would be at first. You'd have a force at second. See if Turkey can take advantage of the break. Yeah, they can. Ball skips away, and that's a direct result of the missed call on the one that went short of the 3-meter line. Kenya's coach, Elijah Joel, not happy. And he's going to come over and have a word with the officials at the table. Now a hard hit ball left side. The throw to first. Play not made. It's 5-4. And now the tying run on for Turkey. Smacked hard up the middle. Flip to second. Safe there. Tying run in scoring position now. Here's Verushkin. On the right side, flip to second for the out. And so Kenya will come up in the bottom of the 4th, clinging to a 1-run lead. Turkey able to get 2 back. Kenya looking to add some insurance. That was a really nice play off the wall. Samuel Onsongo to lead off. Nice play on the right side for the first out. Not sure what the delay is here. But now we're ready to start. Cliff handed the ball, or I guess bounced the ball. That's the official way for the home plate official to get it to the batter. It's with a bounce. The action starts after that. And with an out at first, it doesn't really look like Kenya is in a good spot to add on here in the last of the 4th. They will, no matter what, go to the 5th inning with a lead. And again, whatever issue slowed us down before that last ball was put in play, maybe popping up again here. This game's been played really smooth without any interruptions. Valentine with 2 outs and the base is empty, lines it to third where it's caught to end the inning. So here we go. Inning number 5 of set number 3. Turkey won the first set 1-0. Kenya won the second 7-5. Can Kenya hold on for a 1-run victory? They have had a way of winning these close games all throughout this tournament. And you can see the excitement on both sides, especially Turkey now trying to get psyched up. There's Elijah Joel doing the coaching on the Kenya side. It all comes down to this. Could be the last inning for these two teams in this Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. Or who knows, it could be tied and we might end up going to a 6th set. Safe, great hustle. Bojdag legging it out. Almost got off to a running start, but hey, whatever you got to do. And with the ball dropped, it wasn't just the speed. Now ground ball to third. Valentine to second. They get the lead runner. That's a tough play to make and a big moment to make it. Valentine delivers. A perfect throw to second base. So now Kenya's 2 outs away from a 5th place finish. Ball hit to second. Out there. And there will be no throw to first. No reason to force it. And risk an errant throw. Muhammad Al-Khan must reach to extend the ball game. Kenya, an out away from a celebration. The ball ripped to short. The flip to second, and Kenya is going to win the 3rd set, 5-4. They take the game 2-1. Kenya, congratulations in their first ever Youth Baseball 5 World Cup. A 5th place finish as Turkey will finish in 6th. This was a great game. It's exactly what we were expecting from two great teams. And now we'll get the handshakes and the hugs. The show of good sportsmanship at the center of Field 1 here in Parque La Loma. They've just gone to the 3rd set between France and Spain, and once that one wraps up, there are just 2 games remaining. It'll be Mexico and Venezuela for the bronze. That gets started at 4 o'clock local time, a little more than 2.5 hours from now. And then tonight, Cuba and Chinese Taipei for the title of world champion. Until the medal games, Craig Durham saying so long from Field 1, and congratulations to Kenya on a thrilling 3-set victory.